So with Mr. T, I wanted to work a little bit with some recalls because he's been doing a really nice job working them already. So I sometimes will like to, like you saw earlier with some of the other babes, take a little snack and send them away to go grab the food. Then from there we go, Teddy, come. And then yes, nice job, good boy. So if again, recalls are something you want to have them kind of really get more comfortable with, yes. Make sure you're starting in environments or situations where they're under threshold or the distraction level is not too great while in that environment. So obviously starting these off in the home, down the road in and around your home, so your driveway section, yes. You'll see that obviously not every time do I get to mention the recall because he's so fast and I'm also chatting throughout the session. So I might go again, ready, find it. And then from there, Teddy, come. Yes, nice job. So he's building up a nice big repertoire where, again, realizing that coming to me and reorienting from the environment has value. So you can also practice this even in your home. I know I mentioned having like the 2 people or multiple family members helping out. Remember, a couple good recall rules just to remember are to never make recalls the end of fun. So I know, chewing is optional. So I know I mentioned this a little bit earlier lightly. So let's say, for example, your puppy loves being outside, and every time you call them, you end the fun outside and you go back into the home. The problem with that, Teddy, come, is that now your puppy starts to realize, gee, every time they call me, the game is over and the fun ends. So your babe, who maybe was a really good recall pup, now turns into one that doesn't respond as well or starts to ignore the cue. So now your recall is maybe getting lost. So what I'd recommend is send your puppy away to go do some exploration, call them to you, feed them for that, and then send them away again. So you might do several recalls out into the world. So they go distract with the environment or sniffing, and then they bounce back into your space and feed for that moment. I know he hears some drilling and some funny noises. So that way, when your pup starts to check in, maybe on the 5th recall, the 7th recall, the 3rd recall, you might go into the home. The other thing, Teddy's like, freedom door. Ready? Teddy, come. He's like, I heard a funny noise. If, let's say, I said his name and nothing happened with that recall word, I would go about half the distance, Teddy, come, and try again. If there was no response from there, then my puppy's either lost in the sense of distracted by the environment, or might be overwhelmed or tired and wants to take a break. He's like, I would love to go back out. Ready? Teddy, come. Good boy. So a couple other recall rules would be, for example, don't pair recall with something scary. So let's say your puppy, ready? Teddy, find it. Let's say your puppy is scared of nail time or scared of tubby time or whatever it might be. If you call them to you to then do that thing, or you're holding the clippers or you're calling them into the bathroom, the problem there is now you're pairing recalls with something spooky. So now the next time you call your puppy, they don't know if it's because we're going to go to the tub or if we're just doing a very easy and comfortable recall. So I wouldn't pair recalls with things they find overwhelming or flustering. The other thing too is you don't want to go ahead and pair recall with, for example, you getting agitated. Excuse me. So let's say, for example, your puppy got away, they ran out into the woods or they ran out into the roadway and they came back in one piece. If, for example, we get mad at them when they finally do come to us, our babes are going to think that coming to the handler can at times be dangerous and threatening. So even though you might want to sweetly say, oh, mommy's going to strangle you when you get in the car, sweetly, obviously there is no strangling allowed. But let's say, for example, you may want to voice how unhappy you were about them almost not making it. You can't make it seem spooky for the pup that finally did come to do that recall. Ready? Find it. Because at times, if we are sometimes safe and unsafe, they will not know when it's going to be comfortable to come check in versus not. So make sure, Teddy, come, that when he's like, that one's stuck in my teeth. So when your pups are working recalls, make sure that even if they've done the silliest thing ever, you don't get upset with them. Because they will think that you're mad at them for coming, not because of what they just did prior to that recall. Excuse me. Teddy, come. So make sure that when practicing, your recalls are attainable, comfortable, and that the pup is being successful. If you find they're really having a rough time with recalls, I know Mr. T says, I'd love to go out again. Teddy, we'll go out in just 1 second, my love. Ready? We'll do a little find it, and we'll do some more practice in a moment. So with your beauty, make sure that, again, recalls are keeping them comfortable and non-threatening. but also only do as many as he's going to be successful with. If you find you can do an amazing 15 recalls, sometimes you might do 2, other times you might do 3, hi handsome, and then other times you might do 7. But if it's always 30 recalls and it turns into almost boot camp with recalls might start to lose their appeal. So keep it short and sweet and successful for greater success. But he did a really good job. I guess I'll sneak him out for another potty and then we'll go from there.